Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Virgo. So Virgo, as usual, I'm doing this reading with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you see are from this deck. So Virgo, let's talk a little bit about the full moon that just happened in your sign on the 24th. So we're still in this full moon week where things can be a little bit hard to process emotionally, energetically. And I feel like maybe because you are an earth sign, you need this sense of security, you need the sense of groundedness, just feeling like things are familiar or safe, predictable even. But I feel like you are receiving signs, and maybe not just small signs, maybe very big signs, that right now is the time to move. And the reason why perhaps there is a little bit of resistance or hesitation, perhaps maybe fear even in your part, that is preventing you to move from where you are, I feel like that's because, well, maybe because you have grown to um, just growing to become comfortable where you are, right? But there is a lot to be gained from exploring outside of your comfort zone. There's a lot of beauty to be found, even in those places where perhaps you expect to be very fearful or very scary or very demanding or very exhausting. So let's begin with the cards. We're beginning with the Judgment. And today this Judgment was kind of like this question, this very insecure inner state of yours, just asking the universe, like, is it time? Is it the right time? Am I receiving the signs correctly? Is this the right time, right? It's almost like, yes, it is. The sign is here, is a big yes. But I feel like because you're a little bit unsure or you're a little bit insecure about how to move, it's almost like you need like these smallest details to be flowing flawlessly or just easy, right? It's interesting because yesterday the Leo card, the Leo reading has, the first card that was like this easy path, right? The Ace of Swords was symbolizing this easy way to go forward. But for you, it's almost the opposite. It's almost like it's here. It's like an unmistakable sign for you to move forward, for you to understand that this is a right time. Maybe, because this also symbolizes rebirth. It's a moment of your rebirth, but for that to happen, it's like you have to, just go outside, explore outside of your comfort zone, but it's like you're still unsure of the signs. It's like you want like this big sign, this obvious sign, but here it is, right? The Judgment is here saying, yes, if you're wondering if this is a sign, yes, this is a sign, and things should be easier because the Seven of Swords is talking about the wind blowing on your sails, right? So it's almost like you're just supposed to be flowing, right? And gliding over seas. It's like there is something that is very it's hard to mistaken, it's hard to pass by, it's hard to not see this as a positive sign of, yes, things are moving forward. But the Four of Pentacles, this is where you stand, this is where you are, this is your comfortable zone, right? So what this was talking about is where you are right now feels like you're not moving, even though you do have a big sign saying, yes, now it's the moment for you to change, for you to be rebirthed, for you to just move forward. And then, everything is just in your favor, right? Everything is happening in a way that should speed up your sailing, right? It's like it's just like the wind is in your favor, but you have this anchor, right? So it's almost like you want to set sail. And maybe that's the thing. It's like, do you want to set sail? Because here it is, like all of the favorable conditions are here. It's like you have this, you know, this helping hand of the universe saying, it's like, yes, there is no mistake. It's time for you to do this. But it's like, if you feel like every little bit of sign, it's actually something that is it's very edgy, it's very sharpening, it's very it's not comfortable, right? Because you're supposed to leave your comfort zone. So yes, everything that now is moving you, it's not going to feel comfortable because you're supposed to let this anchor go, right? It's like you're not supposed to be here. It's like you're supposed to move. But the reason why you're still anchored, and not just because it's like here you have familiarity, here you have comfort, here you have security, but you also have limited possibilities. And outside of this comfort zone with the Nine of Wands, it feels like everything outside of this boundary, outside of your bubble, outside of your familiar, comfortable place, it's something that it's either going to be very demanding, very exhausting, very challenging, right? And it's going to feel almost like, because the way that I'm perceiving this Nine of Wands is like you're taking this very personally. So it's almost like every bit of struggle that appears outside of your comfort zone, it's like you're going to take, or, you know, in your mind, you know that it's going to be harder because you're going to eventually take it on yourself as if it was a personal thing, right? So the reason why you're still anchored, you know, the Nine of Wands to me is not, you know, the typical Nine of Wands, if you know the traditional meaning of this card, that is the burden. It's kind of like that. It's almost like the external, more superficial excuse that you are putting for yourself so that you're not burdened. But the thing about this Nine of Wands for me is that it's, you know, like this transcendence version of the traditional meaning. It's like this this path of flowers that it's filled with beauty, but you have to have the eyes to see the beauty before the flowers bloom. And I feel like the reason why you're receiving the signs, you're getting all of the favorable winds, you're getting all of the, you know, major arcana type of symbols saying, yes, this is the moment, this is the time, this is, you know, the perfect condition that you will find for you to do this, for you to leave your comfort zone. But you have to be willing to see the beauty despite the mud. You have to see the beauty before it blooms, right? It's like you have to take a risk, essentially, right? And taking a risk, it doesn't necessarily, this is what the beautiful thing about the Six of Pentacles is saying, it doesn't need to be a big risk. It's like you have, you know, because to me this is also a powerful tool. So the universe is not just giving you this helping hand, but it's like making sure that you see even like your biggest insecurities, they can also be transformed, be transcended into your most powerful tools, right? So you have that in your favor as well, but it's a matter of adjusting your eyes, adjusting your vision for the future, your vision beyond the comfort zone. So the Six of Pentacles is talking about the exchange that lies just over this limit, over this boundary. It's like you have to get edgy, right? It's like you have to get to the edge. You have to be a little bit daring to risk yourself and reaching the edge. And so the Six of Pentacles is a very calculated, a very mindful risk. It's not like you're going from the Four into the Nine of Pentacles, right? It's not that breaking of your pattern, breaking of your routine. It's just a couple of steps further, right? So, but here you are stuck in a sense in your own anchored reality. And then everything outside of that, maybe you consider too big of a risk. But what the Six of Pentacles is here to reassure to you, maybe because you do have this helping hand, you do have something that is blowing in your favor. So it's almost like everything is pointing in that direction, right? And so even though it can be a little bit risky, a little bit edgy, a little bit out of your comfort zone, it is that because it's supposed to be that, right? Because it's almost like when it feels a little bit edgy, that's when you know that you have crossed that boundary, that now you're out of your comfort zone. And then when you are here out in this mud field, right, it's like you can have this future vision of the path forward that instead of being a very exhausting one, it can be one of beauty. But you have to be willing to, it's like, meet people, right? Because the Six of Pentacles implies the exchange with others. And being Pentacles, it feels like you have to dare go outside, right? Your usual routine, to bump into people, right? To exchange energy. Because it's almost like in exchanging energy with others, it's like there's something that it's going to make you feel more and more comfortable, right? Because it's as solid as where you left. So it's not that big of a difference. The biggest difference, I should say, it's like it's the expansion of your boundaries, right? It's like here you had a limited territory to work with or to work within, but if you dare to risk a little bit and go for this beautiful path instead of this struggling one, it's like you're going to meet people that are going to help expand those limits, right? It's like you're going to find those who are willing to also like reciprocate your approach or what you're offering or what you're asking, right? And so here it seems like you are willing to a point or to a degree, because you're showing up here as the Knight of Wands. So I feel like at the same time that it's like your curiosity is being sparked, because, you know, if you're seeing this as a possibility of transcending this vision of struggle or hardship or exhaustion into creativity and beauty, it's like you want to see how far that goes, or what are the prospects, or, you know, what this is wanting to show you or want you to give you the possibility of experimenting with, you know, this expansion of your comfort zone. But it's almost like here you are showing up, right? You are showing up to this. It's not like you are stuck in your anchored reality as this is showing, right? The Four of Pentacles. But it's almost like you're being extra cautious, because to me, the helmet represents the defense mechanisms. So because, oh God, okay, the card just fell. Okay, so the Nine of Wands, it's like this possibility of things going wrong, right? Maybe in your imagination, maybe in your ability to see beyond, right? It's like your interpretation is that things are going to get, you know, very hard or very just hard to take on, hard to deal with. So you're preparing it's almost like you have like plan A, plan B, C until Z, right? Because you have all of these defense mechanisms around you to protect something that I feel like it's your own idea or your own it's like self-preservation, right? This is how I'm perceiving this Knight of Wands. Yes, you're willing to see what these exchanges are going to look like, what they have to offer, but it's like you don't want to give away too much, because maybe you don't want to look like you are, you know, fearing the Nine of Wands, right? It's like maybe you don't want to show that perhaps you haven't yet developed your ability to see the beauty in the path, right? Where there is nothing there. It's like there is a lot that has to be done in your part, I want to say, to develop that capacity to see the beauty where these flowers they haven't bloomed yet. So you're showing up as this defensive but creative person, right? So you are taking a little bit of risk, not too much, but just the right amount that calls for your decision to prepare for the worst, right? So it's almost like you're over prepared in a sense, right? It's like you're just taking a few steps. It's like you're meeting one person, you're not meeting more, right? But in that meeting, in that expansion, you are already very cautious. You're very, it's like you're not going to be too expansive. You're not going to be too passionate. It's like you're just controlling your fire, right? You're controlling your intensity, because the final card here, it's so interesting because it goes from the 4 to the 6 and then to the 5, right? So we're ending with the 5 of Pentacles. So it's almost like even these 2 steps further away from your comfort zone, they can feel a little bit too much, because right away it's like you are back. It's like you take one step back, right? Not the 4 of Pentacles, right? But it's the 5 of Pentacles. So you still need this groundedness. You still need to get back to this inside familiar corner of yours where things are more predictable, things are more known. It's like you are in control in a sense of who you are, or it's like how far you can go. It's like this is how you feel like you belong in yourself, like you're grounded in yourself. So I'm seeing like you are taking a little bit of risk, right? It's a small risk, not a huge risk. And it's, reminding me of a reading that was talking about taking a few steps back before taking steps forward. I think it was the collective reading for the Venus and Mars conjunction, I believe. It was a different setting because in that reading, it was all about relationships and, a romantic offer or a loving offer. Here, I feel like it's more in the business side of things or in the practical side of things. It's not so much in terms of an emotional matter, right? It's more on the practical side of things because of all the pentacles. Maybe because you need, Virgo, to feel like things are under your control, right? And if they're not, it's like you don't know how much you can share about your own vision, right? With the 9 of Wands that just flew away. It's almost like, okay, so that's the thing, right? It's like the things are in your favor, the wind is in your favor, the conditions are all favorable right now, but for some reason it feels a little bit out of reach, out of edge, right? Just like I cannot reach the 9 of Wands right now. But that's the thing, it's like it's the 9 of Wands that flew away. So it's almost like, okay, it's fine if you come back to your corner of the world to recenter, to ground yourself, but you're no longer here, right? In the 4 of Pentacles. It's like you're in the 5 of Pentacles. So you have already progressed a little bit. So believe that even though it wasn't like a major evolution, a major setting your sail to, discover these other new territories, you are still learning. Maybe it's like you want to practice a little bit more with what this means, with what this tool can do, right? Maybe we're talking about discernment. Maybe we're talking about partnerships, business partnerships, like how much you're willing to risk your idea, your passion project, whatever it is. So yeah, I feel like you're still unsure. And that's the interesting thing, because it's like you need to go back to yourself, right? It's almost like it's like this is the only person that you know that you can count on. It's like it's yourself. Here you're willing to hear out somebody else, but it's like at the end of the day, these 2 steps forward mean that it's like you want to reevaluate and take 1 step back and see how you feel about it, how it makes you feel secure, how it makes you feel grounded, how it makes you feel safe about this exploration, this expansion of your comfort zone, right? So Virgo, I am going to pull more cards for you to see where this wants to go. and hopefully pick up the Nine of Wands. And also I'm going to pull from the astrological runes in the extended reading. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find the link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.